វាយបង្គំព្រះពុទ្ធព្រះធម៌ព្រះសង្ឃជាទីសក្ការៈសូមគោរពជំរាបសួរឯកឧត្តមសាស្ត្រាចារ្យបណ្ឌិតដំឆិតរីអគ្គស្ថាបនិកអគ្គមេបញ្ជាការឧត្តមក្រុមប្រឹក្សាខ្មែរជួយខ្មែររំដោះជាតិជាទីគោរពដ៏ខ្ពង់ខ្ពស់និងសូមជម្រាបសួរបងប្អូនខ្មែរទូទាំងសកលលោកនេះជាកម្មវិធីទស្សនៈស្ត្រីលើកទី16ថ្ងៃនេះយើងមានប្រធានបទស្ដីអំពីហ៊ុនសែនមាន3ចំណុចដែលបរាជ័យដោយគ្មានចម្លើយនិងគ្មានសេចក្តីនៅអស់សេចក្តីសង្ឃឹមសំទោសចាយើងខ្ញុំទស្សនៈស្ត្រីនឹងបកស្រាយជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសជូនដល់អស់លោកលោកស្រីប្រិយមិត្តមានដូចតទៅ Good evening and welcome back to Supreme Council of Khmer Ho Khmer for Rescue Khmer Lady Viewpoint our number 16 show and now I would like to introduce our panelists this evening right now we have Miss Gina Set and Miss Kalyanu. And ladies and gentlemen, today we have a special guest and her name is Tip Devi. She is connecting by phone right now. Thank you, Khmer Devi, for joining us again. It is always nice to have you again here. And my name is Chawi Pek. I am your host tonight. Tonight we have another exciting topic to share with our audience. And how are you doing tonight, On Kalyan and On China? And lady, welcome back, to the show.
Thank you, Bong. I am doing great, and thank you for asking, Bong.
Thank you. On China?
Well, Bong, I'm doing well. I'm very super excited to get our show started.
Yeah, me too. Like we said, we have special guest, the young lady. And Khmoy Devi, how are you this evening, Khmoy?
I am doing well, and thank you, Namin Chobi, for asking. It is always a pleasure to be part of the Khmer Ladies Viewpoint show.
Thank you, Khmoy. Again, good evening and welcome back to our Khmer Lady Viewpoint. Our topic tonight is Hun Sen 3 area of failure with no answer to it. It is hopeless. There are the 3 major failures that Hun Sen has failed to provide and protect Khmer people even with 41 years in power. Number 1, failure to provide decent job and happiness to 90% of Gon Khmer. Number 2, failure to protect the sovereignty and integrity of our nation. 3, failure to protect the nation against pandemic or national disaster. Again, tonight we will have 3 segments to cover, and I hope you lady will do your best to provide your thought on these 3 segments due to our time limit. Before we begin our show, we will have a short video to share with our audience. Please join us. Bong Mani, please have the video. Thank you.
Hun Sen, attitude and behavior toward Vietnamese communists. Hun Sen has been Vietnamese communist puppet for the last 41 years.
មានតែនៅពីលើក្បាលមកខ្ញុំសូមនិយាយដោយត្រង់ព្រោះថាចង់ឲ្យនិយាយតាមទៅតាមមកបើតាមទៅតាមមកយើងត្រូវនិយាយតាមហើយនិយាយឲ្យប្រជាជនខ្មែរបានដឹងកងទ័ពវៀតណាមនៅកម្ពុជាជាង 10,000 នាក់ខ្ញុំអាយ៉ងវៀតណាមកងទ័ពវៀតណាមនៅកម្ពុជាជាង 10,000 នាក់ខ្ញុំអាយ៉ងវៀតណាម
Hun Sen does not have any love for the Cambodian people. Hun Sen is serving Ho Chi Minh communist doctrine. Currently, the sovereignty of Khmer is seriously in danger. Top-level government officials are Vietnamese operatives.
កងទ័ពវៀតណាមនៅកម្ពុជាជាង 10,000 នាក់ខ្ញុំអាយ៉ងវៀតណាមកងទ័ពវៀតណាមនៅកម្ពុជាជាង 10,000 នាក់ខ្ញុំអាយ៉ងវៀតណាម
Hun Sen, attitude and behavior toward Cambodian people. While Cambodian people are dying of COVID-19, Hun Sen donated 350,000 of cash and over 1 million of masks to the Vietnamese government. The Vietnamese are freely able to enter Cambodia at will. Hun Sen, attitude and behavior toward Cambodian people. Hun Sen does not have any love for the Cambodian people. Hun Sen is serving Ho Chi Minh communist doctrine. Hun Sen gave housing to illegal Vietnamese immigrants while Cambodian people are homeless. Are you in poverty? 80% in Cambodia are, and it's time for change with Dr. Ray C. Dam. His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam is the only person that could rescue Cambodia from the 800 years nightmare and restore Khmer Nation to real independence and protect the sovereignty. The true Cambodian population is less than 10 million people, not 16 million. Cambodian migrant workers in Thailand are currently being dumped onto the roadside by the Thai government. Dr. Ray C. Dam is the most influential man on this planet, with unlimited financial resources due to his moral compass and the financial apparatus that he holds. The Alpha Omega Code and status. The world leaders are in need of his services to keep their nation from going bankrupt. As known, the Chinese government and all the superpowers have sought his services in the last 2 years, including the United States government. His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam is the only person that could rescue Cambodia from the 800 years nightmare and restore Khmer Nation to real independence and protect the sovereignty.
Wow, thank you, Bomani, for the video. You know, it just made me so mad and sad at the same time. Lady, I have so many words to say to this dictator Hun Sen, but it's not going to be a good one. I'm going to let you have your thought, lady. Thank you. Start with own Kalayan for, I'm sorry, own Kalayan and own China.
Yes, well, thank you. Like you said, I am very sad also for our people. From this video, it's just there's no word to describe Hun Sen. He is beyond evil. I'm not sure there's any other word beyond evils. He's the most incompetent leader. And for the last 41 years, he hasn't done anything for Sckhk Khmer except killing them and, make them living through misery. 41 years in power, and he never protected Sckhk Khmer or our nation, Bong. Thank you, Bong.
Thank you.
Well, Mong Chavi, my thought on this video show how coward Hun Sen really is. He serves no good purpose as a leader. He is powerless against our country, century-old enemies, Vietnamese, and very hopeless and has no soul for the people of Cambodia. Bong.
Thank you, On China. Thank you, Kalayan and On China, for your thought, on this video. And now let us get our show started, ladies. In our first segment of the 3 segment, it's about the happiness and well-being of Sckhk Khmer. As we all know, Hun Sen regime has been, in power for almost 3 decades. And Hun Sen has been in power since the Vietnamese Communist government was put into the power after the invasion in year 1979. I want both of you ladies to provide a synopsis of why this regime failed to provide our, people happiness and well-being. Let us start with On China this time, and then On Kalayan could jump in, with your thought on, please, On China.
Thank you, Mong. Well, it's always nice to be back again, if you ask me. As we can see in the video, Sckhk Khmer has been suffering for more than 50 years. Our country has gone through hardship and famine because of selfish, trifling, self-interest leaders who are extremely barbaric due to lack of education. With all due respect, this time will be different. Lok Patien Satrachadam Charai has what it takes to be one great leader, his education and credential. Say it all, Mom. These are the highlight of the world top-notch university and institution His Excellency Dr. H. Dam graduated from the University of Laverne, Juris Doctor, and then Sam Houston State University, Doctorate of Law, the University of California, Berkeley School of Law, Juris Doctor, and then the University of Cambridge, Professor Oder, Doctorate of Political Science, and then Economics, Master's Justice of Council, Economic and Banking Law, and then Geneva School of Diplomacy and International Relations, University Institute of Switzerland, Doctor of International Relations. Then, Bonn University, Doctorates of Law, Banking and Finance Law. And as a Jesuit trained, please allow me to emphasize this like a little, the Jesuit Society is a very exclusive society. Only the great ones of the world leaders all invited to be member of this exclusive society founded in 1540 and is 481 years old. With this Bong to reassure Lok Patien high standard of education background along with his wisdom and intellectual capacity, without a doubt, Khmer will be liberated, if you ask me.
Thank you.
Yes, China, you are correct. His intellectual capacity made the difference that even the world leaders are bowing to Lok Patien and seeking his assistance. His political strategy outshined everyone, including the Chinese President Xi. And we do have proof to share with all Sckhk Khmer just by visiting Lok Patien's website, www.raisydam.org. Xi is the president of the country with 1.4 billion people. He is bowing down to Lok Patien for help. And what do you think, ladies?
This is a very imaginable for Sckhk Khmer to solve a, superpower nation financial problem.
Bong, this is why our country's pain and suffering will be wiped out overnight when the Supreme Council of Khmer helped Khmer for rescue, liberated our country, and install the Khmer Republic government that truly for the people and governance by the people, Bong.
Mang Kalayan, yes, I truly believe 100% that the pain and suffering will end with an overnight process. Just like you said, it will be wiped out.
Thank you, lady. Now let us turn to our wonderful guest, the phenomenal, political phenomenon, 11 years old, a young lady. Her name is Tip Devi, and sorry, we did not to forget about you. And the topic, it just got a little crazy, away from our emotion. So, what do you think about this government failure to provide happiness and provide job to the most people that should prevent them from seeking employment on the foreign soil?
Thank you, Namin Chawi. As always, it is an honor to be part of history by participating with all Namins. There is no secret that this current government fails to provide jobs and happiness to the majority of Kon Khmer. I am 11 years old, but I could see how our people are suffering deeply every day.
Thank you, Kuwait Devi.
Oh, wow. Khmuisrai Tip Devi. Want to commend you for being one smart and remarkable young lady. Your great perspective will make you a well-rounded leader someday, Khmui.
Yes, ladies, if this government has half of the heart and passion for Kon Khmer, in that case, we will not be suffering for the last 100 years. And recently, Kon Khmer are seeking low labor jobs in the neighboring country and being treated like animals, as we all saw, in the video earlier, And as always, this government is walking backward in the interest of their families and cronies.
Kalayan, what do you mean by this government walking backward?
Bong Chavi, this is not the first time, Bong. Back in the 60s, Sihanouk did the same thing. He abandoned the free world's financial and political support to partner up with the communist ideology. And it was proven with 3.5 million Kon Khmer have died during the 3 years, 8 months, and 20 days. And now we have not brought the real architect to justice yet, Bong, which is no other than Monique Easy, the Vietnamese spy, again, as the mastermind and the controller of Sihanouk and now Hun Sen. We are experiencing the same outcome. They weakened us to wipe us out. They destroyed our economy. They destroyed our job market to successfully transform the population from Kon Khmer to Vietnamese as the majority when Kon Khmer are seeking jobs in other countries. Well, come on, Kon Khmer, please, wake up, please.
Absolutely.
Well, Bang Kalayan, this, what I must say, get your ducks in a row, my people. Just remember, when you are forced to seek a job in a foreign land, your home is opening for soft invasion. Obviously, as you can see, we are being occupied by foreigners in all levels of government from top to bottom, while Kon Khmer is seeking cheap labor job in Thailand. This is something I cannot fathom. It is sick to the core. What really got me all perturbed was when the Thai convoy truck loaded Kon Khmer in a dump truck, looking all caged up as if they were a bunch of animals. The saddest part, Wong, is when they were dumped off between the border entry of Thailand and Cambodia. And I detest this inhumane act. What they did is unacceptable. Hun Sen has no solutions to resolve the situation that lies before him. The regime must be put to an end soon. We can't have a dysfunctional prime minister like him to continue to run the country. We have gotten to put an end to his regime soon, or else we'll not see Kon Khmer, the DNA exist in this world ever again.
Wow, thank you, On Kalayan. Excuse me, Ochina. On Kalayan, we all know that, Kon Khmer are suffering, suffering. Can you please tell us why they cannot find job in our own country?
This is quite simple to point out, Bong. We do not have to be a rocket scientist to see this. And I am so sure that even Khmuitub TV could see it also. And most people could see this with Braille. For the last 30 years, even the world community had pledged billions of US dollars already. They failed to establish a real balanced economy that benefit most of the rural economies. Hun Sen does not understand the concept of macroeconomy and microeconomy, which are the cornerstone to developing a prosperous nation. Now, due to his ignorance and selfish mindset, he allows this crony and the Vietnamese Communist government to profit and continue their plan to continue their political agenda of population transformation from Tôn Khmer as the majority to become the minority on our land. And eventually become non-exist in 100 years from now, Bong.
Thank you, Owen Galayan. Khmer, David, would you like to add to this comment, Khmer?
Yes, I do. 19% of our people are farmers, and their income is little. They could not live up with what they made. The cost of living must come down to survive.
You're right, Muktavi. And you know what? The two strongest national resources in our country are agriculture and fishery. We have been giving the fruit of our land to the foreigner to live off for many, many decades. As you all can see from the top of Mekong River down to the Mekong Delta, which is the Le Sap River, is saturated with Vietnamese floating house community, can we say?
They even use the Le Sap, down to Mekong River to the Mekong Delta as the toilet for so many years, and this government did nothing to manage the environment and protect health of our people. It's unbelievable.
Well, exactly. Well, the nations of macro economy must be, they must be strong in order to build a nation, as we all agreed. 80% of our people are farmers, and they could live off their land if the government provide them with market support for their harvest properly.
Yes, so China, a real robust microeconomy must have real and transparent economy to benefit all levels of society to enjoy the affordable and basic daily needs like the utility, water, electricity, gasoline, diesel, public transportation, housing, and clothing needs. And in simple, all the essential needs must closely monitor to assure a functioning microeconomy to benefit the healthy economic cycle on.
Well, while most importantly, the daily basic need must be domestically made and promoted by Khmer Republic government.
Yes, and in relating to the domestic products, which are no other important than the agriculture products, the 2 million Tôn Khmer migrants workers are currently seeking jobs in Thailand, are all from the rice farming industry. And about 10 years ago, when the rice farming industry made progress, the foreigners from both sides, of course, Thailand and Vietnam, destroyed our potential rice market.
Well, we also know that Hun Sen's family played a major role in destroying it as well. We have 2 million hectares of arable rice farming land that Tôn Khmer solely owns. Now I'm not sure what is left for Tôn Khmer anymore. The biggest problem Tôn Khmer has to encounter is interfacing with predator lending schemes. The micro lending banks are mostly owned by the Vietnamese Communist government and the Hun Sen's family. And then, while my opinion is the Khmer rice industry alone would have had the potential of 10 billion US dollars per year if it was managed properly.
Lady, $10 billion is extremely big industry to, overlook by this no good government.
Well, Bob, look at this. I'm pretty sure that they know that the rice industry is the largest industry in the country. They took the opportunity to hit us hard by chasing us out of the land to be slave in Thailand so that microloans become default and the land can be repossessed by the bank. Tôn Khmer need to remember that the migrant workers working in a foreign land would not exist if we have a leader that can protect and serve the nation the way that they should.
What is the other industry that we have, that we could have to, elevate the flock of, the people to migrate into other countries?
Bong, this is not an easy task to accomplish in ASEAN. As we all know that Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, and Malaysia are all competing for the same jobs market for their people. However, when the Khmer Republic government takes over, Lofoten has all the advantages of bringing high quality industrial and top-notch manufacturer to manufacture their good in our country. Not to translate, this translate into millions of high or decent paying jobs. And I am quite sure that before long, our country will be short of jobs, of labor workers to fill the high paying industrial jobs, Bong.
You know, Uncle Yan, you are right. I had mentioned before during our previous shows to provide a country haven. Lofoten has all the advantages to bring Khmer land manufacturing with top-notch original equipment manufacturers like General Motors, Ford, Apple, Samsung, Sony, Toyota, Nissan, Dell, Computer, General Electric. For sure, many more will want to be our partners to bring their products to Khmer land globally.
Yes, you are right on China. With Lofoten's financial capability and financial apparatus around the globe, in the top 10 prime banks providing banking services to these elite original equipment manufacturer will be knocking on our door to relocating their factory and fulfillment from our country.
Uncle Yan, why would they want to do this?
Bong, this is quite simple. Every business needs some cash flow or extra capital to expand its businesses or operations, right? Doing business with UNOITC, a sovereign entity status under the United Nations Charter, will have no problem opening more markets and will be more profitable for them, Bong.
Ladies, I can't wait to see the top-notch manufacturing plants and fulfillment facilities flourish. Simply because all things are resting on money plays 90% of our businesses' decisions. Therefore, all Lofoten needs to do is issue these companies with bank guarantee or credit facilities to bankroll their product to launch the production's inventory. Again, this is an enormously powerful position to have. We are so grateful for Lofoten's ability to control such an important and valuable instrument, Mom.
China, money is not everything, but it is the only thing, ladies. Rest assured that all Khmer will never need to leave their home to beg for jobs across the border anymore. And we will never see the Thai government dumping Khmer along the roadside at the border again. We will not see Khmer living in the public toilet, roadside, sewer, and jungle anymore. We will not see Khmer begging for food, eating out of trash can, sharing noodles out of a plastic bag, sitting somewhere in the jungle again. And we will never see women giving birth on the sidewalk bleeding to death again. Because Lofoten will fix this once and for all.
Thank you, lady. Thank you very much. This is the conclusion of our first segment. And now let us move on to our next segment. This is about Hun Sen failure to protect sovereignty and integrity of our nation.
Mong Chavi, the government in Cambodia practices kleptocracy of governing the country by corruption. The leaders dividing selves, exploiting, stealing natural resources from the mouth of poor Khmer to strengthen the power of their close friends and their families. They betrayed Khmer by deliberately hiding the millions of illegal Vietnamese immigrants living on Cambodian territory without enforcing its immigration laws.
China, can you elaborate if you can?
Yes, the Vietnamese immigrants constantly invaded Cambodia. Whenever the senior Vietnamese leaders meet with the Cambodian senior leaders, they always reminded the Cambodian side to provide the correct statutes, which is following the international law, to the Vietnamese immigrant to Cambodia, and what so far the Vietnamese Communist government has completed. Are the 5 stages of their plan which is to swallow Khmer territory. The Vietnamese had forced the current Khmer puppet government to give them all the Khmer land they wanted, including the ethnic group Bong.
Thank you, On. On,
No.
you have any comment?
No. I'm thinking like, at least 8 million illegal Vietnamese are living in Cambodia right now. And those Vietnamese are holding Khmer identification cards. And you know what? They have more rights than the local Con Khmer. This is extremely dangerous. This is what I call present endangered to our nation's sovereignty and integrity, ladies.
Yeah. What are the 5 stages of their plan to swallow, Khmer land on China?
Okay, Bong, I'm going to outline the 5 stages of their plan the best way that I can. First, Bong, they established a puppet organization in Cambodia called the People Party after the Indochina Communist Party in 1930. And then second, they arranged a puppet organization, People Party, to cooperate with the Vietnamese group as a brotherhood. And then third, the Vietnamese military interventions in Cambodia on January the 7th, 1979 was a big brother to Cambodians. And then fourth, the Vietnamese established a government in Cambodia called the National Power or People's Power. And then last one, fifth, Vietnam forced the puppet to sign and recognize its power as the sovereign power over its puppet's power. These 5 phases played a major role in establishing Hun Sen into power, and right now, their puppet as well.
Wow, thank you, Onchina. I understand that the Vietnamese communist government tries so many times to swallow, us by using their military power, but they fail. Okay, I'm going to ask Khmer Tập Devi if she would like to add anything, Khmer Sray.
Yes, let me, Charlie. History has written clearly that the Vietnamese communists always want to take our own land for the last 800 years.
And you know what, Khmer Tập Devi? Yes, they did use military forces 3 times to invade us. First, with King Sihanouk's help, North Vietnam hired 200,000 Vietnamese troops in Cambodian territories. And Sihanouk also provided food, medicine, military bases, and hospital to help North Vietnam.
Bong Kalayan and Bong Chavi, the second time after the expulsions of the Vietnamese from Cambodian territory, King Sihanouk suddenly went to China shouting on Beijing radio that the Cambodians should go into the forest to mobilize troops to attack Lanao.
Yes, and the third time, under the leadership of Pol Pot, Democratic Kampuchea regime, which refused to be under the Vietnamese and even opposed to Vietnam. And tens of thousands of Vietnamese became increasingly angry with Pol Pot and launched a large-scale military campaign against Pol Pot army forces until they could not resist the fall of Democratic Kampuchea on January 7, 1979. And they installed Heng Samrin's government. And later on, they replaced him with Hun Sen until today.
Wow. Anyway, what do you lady know about illegal Vietnamese? Can you give me that answer if you can, please?
Yeah, sure, Bong. As Bong Kalian has said, since 1979, when the Vietnamese communists invaded and occupied Cambodia, Vietnam has taken Cambodia, whether you realize it or not. The Ministry of Interior state that the population is over 16 million. And then per Lok Bu Sotaput scientific study, the actual Con Khmer is no more than 9 million people. The rest are illegal immigrants, and mostly those Vietnamese that crossed over the borders illegally.
Yeah, China, you are right on. Back in 1980, Heng Samrin began to oppose the illegal influx of Vietnamese people into Cambodia. To fix all the oppositions, the Vietnamese puppet master elected Hun Sen as the new prime minister by the Vietnamese army in December of 1985. Puppet Hun Sen continued diligently to provide and assist the Vietnamese settler, such as settlement, providing identity or family cards, and providing farmlands for them to work on. This is very painful to Kon Khmer, and it's not acceptable, ladies.
Yeah.
Bong Kalyan, you are right. Since 2003, the Vietnamese Association in Cambodia, under the auspices of the Vietnamese Embassy in Phnom Penh, has gradually expanded its branches to all Cambodian cities and provinces on the task of taking care of all status of Vietnamese immigrant. Recently, development including health, residence, official letters, employment, the study of Khmer language, lifestyle in Cambodian society, resolutions of private dispute between Vietnamese and Khmer with administrators, and then doctors, Vietnam's teacher, come and advise or intervene in the Cambodian authority if necessary, what have you.
Yeah. And also, China, as you mentioned it earlier, every time a senior Vietnamese leader meets with a senior Cambodian leader, the Vietnamese leader constantly reminds the Cambodian side to provide the right condition to their people by following the international law to Vietnamese immigrants in Cambodia. And recently, the bilateral meeting with Hun Sen and Pham Minh Chinh, I hope I say the name right, in Jakarta, Indonesia, back in April 24th, 2021, Pham Minh Chinh advised Hun Sen, Cambodia must continue to support the Vietnamese community in Cambodia, especially by providing legal documents to help stabilize those Vietnamese, and later confirmed by the Vietnamese government online newsletter, which is VGP News, that Hun Sen has agreed to Vietnam's request.
Yeah, thank you. On what other, sovereignty and integrity of the country all affected by the illegal immigrants?
Well, the Vietnamese political doctrine is to march to the west, and it doesn't matter how long it takes, Bong. They disguise the conquering way of commerce as a joint venture. For example, in 1999, the puppet Hun Sen was inaugurated into his second term as the Prime Minister of Cambodia. He initiated the idea of proposing that the Vietnamese and Lao government should jointly create a special area on the border of the three countries called the Indo-China Triangle, and then later renamed the Cambodia-Laos-Vietnam Development Triangle, Bong Chavi.
Wow, how was the process taking place for, initiative, this launch that affected, the sovereignty and integrity of the nation?
Bong, this traitor sold his soul to the devil Vietnamese communists already when he took over the premiership. He would do anything to prolong his life as prime minister. He made decisions secretly without the approval of the National Assembly, and the king, the head of state of Cambodia, violated the Cambodian constitution. The agreement is directly affected the Cambodia territorial integrity and sovereignty.
And then, since the flood of Vietnamese illegal immigrants flow endlessly to Cambodia out of control, the Cambodian authorities took place in the northeastern province of Cambodia, which joins the so-called Triangle Development. Bong Bong.
Onchinak, can you please elaborate on the Triangle Development again, please?
Yeah, sure, Bong. This so-called triangle development is the communist way of swallowing Khmer land and Laos. This project was initially started small in 1999, and there were only 4 provinces in the triangle. From Vietnam is Gia Lai, and then from Laos is Kon Tum, Atapu, and from Cambodia is Ratanakari. And then by 2009, the triangle had expanded to 13 provinces, 5 provinces of Vietnam, 4 provinces of Laos, and 4 provinces of Cambodia. The area of the 4 Khmer provinces is equal to 26.1% of the total area of Cambodia. The total population of Cambodian is about 471,000 in 2011 statistics. Wow.
Thank you, Onchina. I'm going to ask On Kalya, can you please point out the clear and present danger, of this, triangle development?
You know, Bong and all my fellow Kon Khmer that are listening to us right now, our sovereignty and integrity have been eroded every day without us knowing that Hun Sen and this no good king secretly signed our sovereignty away due to their selfishness. Now, as we all can see here, the 47 plus kilometer square of land from the 4 provinces fall into the joint venture agreement that all the nations are allowed to invest and bring their workers as needed, not limited to just their contribute land. And in principle, the nationality of all the 3 countries have the right to live and work freely in all the provinces of the triangle.
Wow.
Yeah, this is correct, Bong. Per the joint venture agreement, only the Vietnamese enterprises and people come to Cambodia or Laos. Cambodia and Laos, the investors who have received major land concessions for 90 years, was 200,000 hectares, are Vietnamese enterprises that during the 2007 statistics.
Now, China, I'm going to give you some example here, what you just said just now. Now, let us say that a 10,000 hectare of rubber plantation farms in Laos, and there are about 1,000 Laotian workers and 3,000 Vietnamese workers. Now, these Vietnamese workers came to live on their and bring their families to live on the Laos land permanently, and are ruled under the 176 Vietnamese colonels and lieutenants. And you know what? They call themselves expert. Yes, you are expert in stealing other people's land. That's what expert, you know, the Vietnamese expert at, stealing people's land. You know, this means 3 to 1 ratio of absolute supremacy over the joint venture, which eventually will be 100% Vietnamese interest in 100 years.
Wow, thank you, On Kalayan.
That is correct. The 3 to 1 ratio is bad. I see Vietnamese people everywhere, especially in the marketplace. They have so much power, and the policy turned their heads.
Well, thank you, Khmer David. I didn't expect that. Thank you very much for jumping in. Thank you so much. Okay, you know, per Cambodian Daily Report in December year 2015 in Rattanakhani province, you know, economics land concession to the Vietnamese company were controlled by the various military unit of the 15th Division, the Vietnamese People Army base in Gia Lai province, one of the Vietnamese provinces in the triangle. So you call this investment development or military strategic, you know, planning to conquer your neighbor land? You know, lady, this is a clear and present danger to our sovereignty, lady. As always, we ask the Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer for the Khmer Lady Viewpoint under the leadership of Luc Pretien and Luc Pusot, but it's a fact-driven program, and we only want to bring out the truth. Okay, On Kalayan, can you share with our audience the document provided by, you know, Luc Pusot, please, On?
Sure, Bong, you know, and you are correct, Bong. We are a facts-driven organization. We speak the truth to bring the right awareness to all Khmer, not to be fooled by the false facts, you know. And here is the list provided to us by Lubang Surapek throughout our program. 1, document from former King Norodom Sihanouk sent to the Cambodian people back in July 17, 2003. And 2, during the Republican era, Mr. Lon Nol and the Khmer Rouge era Pol Pot wiped out all the Vietnamese from Cambodia. And 3, a United States intelligence team reported on April the 26th, 1990 on Vietnam invades Cambodia again. And 4, proclamation of the Central Committee of the Cambodian People Revolution Party established by the ghost of Ho Chi Minh since 1951, number 240, dated September the 13th, 1982, signed by Se Phu Thong and signed by the traitor puppet Hun Sen on implementation the policy on Vietnamese expat in Cambodia. You know, this is just a short document that we base on our facts on Bong.
Thank you, On Kalayan. Okay, on China, Lupu Sorapik, stated in one of the roundtable show that our Truth Khmer population is not 16 million. It is less than 10 million people only. Can you break it down, if it's possible? Sister, do your best, my darling.
Okay. Sure, Wrong. Yes, of course, we all know Sckhk Khmer DNA is not 16 million. I am going to do my best to provide the count by timeline. Let's start with 1970. The Cambodian population was 7.25 million. And then 1980, Cambodian were 9.74 million. Without war, there would have been a normal growth rate, Mom. Here is the professional scientific calculation by the same formula used by the United Nations. Let's use the 9.74 million figure to deduct from the following death and migrations from 1970 to 1980. 1, birth rate due to war was 1.25 million. And then 2, the Vietnam left Cambodia 1970 all the way to 1975 was 0.60 million. And then 3, Khmer refugee was 0.05 million. And then 4, Khmer died in the war from 1970 to 1975 was 0.75 million. 5, killing and killing fields was about 3.20 million. And then, last, the clearance and political group was 0.15 million. These 5 items are accountable for the total of 6.0 million. The real figure for 1980, Bong, if they took 9.74 million minus 6 million, Khmer only had 3.7 millions in 1980. That's the
right. Thank you very much.
On China, while the neighboring countries are progressing in every sector, Sckhk Khmer are busy killing each other due to the failure policy of Sihanouk on.
This, I could not agree with you more, Bong. While we were too busy slaughtering each other, the foreigner was watching and waiting for the opportunity to wipe all of us out. They're ready to take over.
Yes, supposedly, if the population of 3.7 million in 1980, what is the growth rate multiply factor Lupu Sorapik, used to arrive at the reasonable number from year 1980 to year 2018 on China? Please continue, sorry.
No problem, Bong. The Cambodian population in 2018 should be only about 7.8 million. And this calculation was done by Lupu Sorapik, which calculate 1.3 multiplied fact per year. Bon. This number is after subtracting the number of Cambodians who died more than 500,000 in the 1980s K5 era. Then the puppet government census figures for 2018 released in 2019 show that there were 15,288,489 people. This doesn't include the 1.5 million Cambodians who migrated abroad. Well, in 2018, 2018, including Khmer migrants, there were like 16 million, 788,489 Cambodians then.
Wow, thank you, On.
Yeah, ladies, if we take the government census of 16,788,489 people, subtract the actual number of Cambodians according to the scientific census, multiplied by the growth rate of the Cambodian population provided by World Bank, the Cambodian population is 7.8 million. So it's 7,800,000 only. So now the question is, where does the 8,989,135 more come from?
Yep.
Bong, there's a lot of stuff that they embellish, a lot of untrue stuff. This is very little doubt that 8,997,135 are not Vietnamese illegal immigrants. According to the document by a former senior official of the British missions to Cambodia, published by the Cambodian Daily on September 12, 2005. The data shows that a 33% increase to Vietnamese is illegal. And then this is 4.2 million people, which 4.2 million are out of the total population of more than 13.5 million Cambodians who were illegal Vietnamese immigrants. To make myself clear, let me rephrase it. In 2005, Vietnamese illegal immigrants were 33% of our Khmer population. What I'm pretty sure of is that the illegal Vietnamese immigrants and troops are on our soil. We all need to wake up, people. This is real. We all need to wake up because losing our country to the Vietnamese enemy is not a joke.
Yeah, I agree, 100%, million percent. Lady, this is a lot of illegal immigrant to have, on our land. I know Luc Pretien has the solution to resolve this, this problem. Lady, please share with audience tonight what could be done. This is most people, our viewer want to know. Kalyan, start with you, and then Onchinaka join in, please.
So, Bong, yes, sure. The Vietnamese Communist government has done an incredibly good job in depopulating Sckhk Khmer on our land with the systematic transformation of the Khmer land's population into their race for so many years already. But this time it is almost done. We must take drastic actions soon, Bong. We use all the possible avenues to restore our sovereignty and integrity. Like Mr. Lonol did in back in 1970, he gave them 24 hours to vacate our land. And this time, Luc Pretien will give them only 8 hours, or Hanoi will feel a natural pain bomb.
Wow.
And then, more than 40% of the population is in extremely dangerous positions for Sckhk Khmer in the country. This is why Luc Pretien has structured a revolution to remove this evil regime installed by the Vietnamese Communist government in 1979. Bong.
Thank you.
I see Vietnamese people everywhere, and they are mostly in the capital city. More importantly, they are protected by the government.
Wow, thank you, Khoi Devi, again. Thank you very much. Okay, Lady Sckhk Khmer want to know the solution. Luc Pretien must chase this, communist bloodsucker of our land. We must protect our sovereignty and integrity. Khoi Devi, what do you think, Khoi?
I know only Professor Dr. Rechadam is the only person that can rescue our country from this evil communist regime.
Yes, you are correct, Moisray. No one on this planet will undo the damages that Sihanouk and Hun Sen have done in the last 41 years. No one other than Luc Pretien. He is our savior. This will take only a very calculated planning with all the financial resources that have available to Luc Pretien. And I would like to reiterate, which we all have said it in our previous show, Luc Pretien has done so much high-level planning to smooth out the political obstruction that the Vietnamese government has laid out to assure their mission is to complete with swallowing our Khmer land. And ladies, already know nothing could stop the storm that Luc Pretien already set. He will do what's needed if they do not comply with his demand. And I mean Hanoi regime, the devil Vietnamese communist.
What kind of high-level planning was done behind the curtain? That's like, we want to know, I want to know, everybody want to know.
Sure, Bong, our council of attorneys did the high-level planning to set up the political environment to have a swift legal and diplomatic in our favor.
Can you please elaborate on one example of the arrangement, political environment on?
Bong, everything in this world is prearranged or worked behind the scene, which Luc Pretien is enormously powerful and he's very, very good at it. And he also the ace card and power in Luc Pretien's hand right now. One, Dr. Henry Kissinger is mentoring Luc Pretien in dealing with the other members of the Committee 300. And two, the King of Malaysia is and will be providing political support in the Southeast region and Arabic League. And three, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to provide political ally to the African nation, Union and Arabic League, and allying with major French political parties to assure political and legal support on all the future legal process, Mom.
Thank you, On.
My fellow Khmer, the enormously powerful political strategy scenario is ready to act at any given time. Lo Putin will push the red button. In the military term, it is locked and loaded. So Hun Sen and the Vietnamese Communist government are counting down right now, Bong. Resolving the 7.8 million plus Vietnamese illegal immigrants will not be an issue. And let me tell you this is why. Because we have the right legal means of solutions to exercise our right as the landowner.
That is correct, China. That is correct, But first, we are going to use all the legal rights and process that are available to us. Suppose if they do not comply with the legal process and court verdict, in that case, military solutions will be exercised to the extent of the firepower, which is prepared to act upon without deterring any nations or international communities or forces. Because Lo Putin has prepared all the superior firepower that money could buy on.
Yeah, what is our legal ground of the law that we must remove, the illegal Vietnamese out of our homeland, On?
Bong, we have plenty of international law in our favor to protect our sovereignty and integrity. And here is the two main international laws. One, the 1949 International Laws of Sovereignty and Integrity. Two, the 1991 Cambodia Paris Peace Agreement with 19 signatories. And you know what also? China and Vietnam were the two signatories. But however, Lo Putin always said he will use the law of nature to solve the issue if the Vietnamese government does not comply.
We must use whatever mean it may, whether required to restore our sovereignty and integrity at all costs. Nonetheless, General Marshal Lanol did it in 1970 when Sihanouk flooded Cambodia with Viet Cong along the Ho Chi Minh Trail. But Pol Pot died the same way to protect our country in 1975. His forces chased every Vietnamese out of the country. For sure, Lo Putin will make them an offer that they will not refuse, or the chaos of fire will be brought to the front door. Like I said, we are an organization of structure with law and order. It is time to protect our sovereignty at all costs. It isn't going to be easy, I'll tell you. It will be done. We have all the resources to bring the Vietnamese Communist government to comply with Lo Putin demands, like the Thai government did to the 2,000 Sckhk Khmer migrants worker on June 28th of this year. They dumped them at the border. It is the same way along with the United States government. They wouldn't let illegal immigrants cross the border into the United States easily. They keep their security tight with a close monitor.
Yes, and also, these illegal immigrants living on Khmer soil illegally will always be illegal, regardless of the illegitimate king and the Vietnamese mother's approvals.
When the new Khmer Republic is in control of the country, our immigration law is affected the extent of the law, Khmer law, and international law. You can take this to the bank, ladies.
Yes, and also, ladies, what hurts me the most is to see our people are trying to survive, living on the sidewalk, living in the public toilet, or seeking jobs in the neighboring countries. This government provides all the social and economic support to the 40 hectares housing communities with full utilities, full roadside access to those illegal Vietnamese. And you know what? When the new Republic government will reverse all the executive order that Hun Sen issued in the last 30 years.
Yes, I am sure, it will be the first executive order to, cancel all this treaty by the new republic government by the 1991 Cambodian, Paris Peace Agreement power.
The illegal Vietnamese area, they have more a right than our people because this government protect them.
Thank you, Khmoy Devi. And now we are down to our last segment for tonight. This segment is about, the national emergency, but Hun Sen government does not know how to handle the problem. Cambodian has, acknowledged that authority have been, unable to contain the spread of infection disease in the community, which has so far have the total of, I wrote it down here, if I mistake, correct me, lady, 77,243, case, and today is 1,397 case is COVID, COVID virus infection, nationwide total death. Yeah, 1,397. It could be more, lady, our viewer, and what is the Supreme Council of Khmer National, Council for, Khmer Health Khmer for Rescue strategy to solve, the invisible killer in our current time?
Ladies, when it comes to people's lives and safety, the government should be accountable for making it the top priority. This is the job of the elected officials. You know what? Hun Sen did the opposite. He led the country with the ignorance. This tackled down to every level of government. This pandemic could have been handled better if Hun Sen did not behave ignorantly and, did not think of himself above the law. And you know what also? He should never think of himself above anything.
Yeah, experts said that, if the Cambodian government had, follow or implement the technical and medical measure, seriously, the pandemic could have been controlled. Social and political observer also said that the, authority discriminate against some people and only use budget and resources for, their friend and family. Ordinary people must fight, disease, on their own.
Let me state this, Bong. This COVID-19 is not the deadliest pandemic in modern history. The worst pandemic was the 1918 Spanish flu, called the Spanish influenza pandemic. It is estimated approximately 20 to 40% of the populations they become ill, and over 50 million people died worldwide.
And you know what? Every pandemic is cruel to mankind. But if this government respects the problem, it could have solved with less death, And I'm confident that Lukpatien will bring the pandemic under control when the new Khmer Republic government takes control of the country. And Lukpatien has all the medical experts and the medical supplies. And most importantly, we have the best vaccine like Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson to roll out to the population systematically and efficiently to get everyone vaccinated, ladies.
Yes.
The pandemic is controllable if we can protect, or practice social distance and quarantine as needed. In the United States, the pandemic is already under control somewhat. Well, we have about 60% or more of the population already vaccinated.
Yeah, and also, China here in Hawaii, the public places like the restaurant is fully opened with 100 people capacity, and school will be scheduled to open this fall. And with $1 billion earmark for Sckhk Khmer alone for the COVID pandemic, we are going to be fine. If more needed, Lukpatien will make this available within a heartbeat. And besides, the economic stimulus will also play a major role in bringing the normalcy of daily lives back to every Sckhk Khmer. And I'm so sure, Lukpatien's financial cloud will surely make a great difference in fighting this pandemic.
Wow, thank you very much. And now we have come to the end of our show again, ladies. I wish we have, more time tonight to cover more items. This, about this three topic, especially the COVID pandemic. Lady, concludes our show tonight. Please share your thought. Let me start with Khmoy Devi first, and then on China, and then on Kalyan. Khmoy Devi, would you like to say something before we close? Thank you, Khmoy.
Yes, thank you, Namin Chavi, Namin Korean, and Namin China. Coming on to the Supreme Council of Khmer Ladies Viewpoint is always an honor and a great privilege. Especially, I have a chance to express my deep feeling about our country's pain and suffering in English. I hope I have more opportunity to join this great show again soon. Thank you, Namin.
Thank you, Khmoy Devi. Okay, on China.
Thank you, and thank you, Khmoy Devi. You've done such a great job this afternoon. While the best is yet to come, the question is, when will the revolution begin? It is entirely up to Lopatian. He is the leader. The decision is all his to make. Whether it is now or later, we just have to sit patiently and wait until that time comes along.
I agree. Thank you, on Okay, on Kalyan.
Hi, before we end tonight, I would like to thank you to Khmoy Devi for joining us this evening. And I am pretty sure that you will be coming back to join us again, Khmoy. As always, I am very, very impressed with your patriotic attitude toward a young girl of your age, Khmoy. And on the other side, Hun Sen, with his 41 years in power, continues to bow his head toward his Vietnamese master with $200,000 cash of donations, plus medical supplies for the COVID-19, such as masks, oxygen machine, while Khmer are dying left and right. This is an attitude and behavior of the traitor Hun Sen. Ladies, we must replace this evil government soon. Thank you, Bong.
Thank you, On Kalyan. I want to say thank you to Khmoy Devi again. We all. It's great to hear your voice again. As always, you're welcome to Lady Viewpoint anytime you want. Just ring us, one phone call. Thank you very much. And of course, to my two dear sister, thank you so much. You're both working so hard, especially on Kalyan. You put everything in Lady Viewpoint, show us always. Lady, you are wonderful tonight. And my fellow Kon Khmer around the globe, hope is coming soon. Be prepared for the new Khmer Republic government for the people and by the people. The Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue will ensure that all the traitors will be brought to justice. And before we close out this wonderful evening, we would like to acknowledge Luke Jimtil Swanho and of course Mr. Oksor for the guidance and support of our Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue. Khmer Lady Viewpoint show as always. And last but not least to His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray Chandam. We all as a Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue, Khmer Lady Viewpoint wish to thank you, Your Excellency, from the bottom of our heart for giving all of us here the opportunity to be part of the history. Until we meet again next month, please follow the Khmer Politics and the Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue. If you find this show, please share it. Thank you and good night, everyone. យើងខ្ញុំទាំងអស់គ្នាសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណដល់អស់លោកស្រីប្រិយមិត្តតែងតែតាមដានកម្មវិធីទស្សនៈស្ត្រីនៃឧត្តមក្រុមប្រឹក្សាខ្មែរជួយខ្មែររំដោះជាតិយើងនឹងវិលជួបអស់លោកស្រីសាជាថ្មីនៅវេលាក្រោយសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណសាជាថ្មីគ្រប់នឹងជម្រាបលា